What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated two-time heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, he states that he's expecting to get a deal done to face off against two-time unified heavyweight world champion, fellow countryman, British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua by Tuesday, or he's going to walk away. He also states that he is still in arbitration with Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion superstar boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder for their trilogy match that they're contractually obligated to stage. With that said, Tyson Fury, he states that Deontay Wilder arbitration situation is still ongoing and that he's not privy to talk about it, but he's paying millions upon millions of dollars to make sure it goes away. He also states that he believes there's nobody in the sport of boxing that could beat Deontay Wilder outside of himself. When asked if Anthony Joshua were to beat him, would Anthony Joshua be the best heavyweight of this era? He said immediately, absolutely not, because Anthony Joshua, he still has to go through Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder is still too fast, too quick, too powerful for Anthony Joshua. And although I don't like Deontay Wilder or what he's standing for, he states that I would bet big money that Deontay Wilder beats Anthony Joshua. Big money is what he stated. He also stated that, it's a historical event for the United Kingdom to have two United Kingdom heavyweight superstars in the prime, in the peak of their career, go at it. I agree. He states that Anthony Joshua would still have to go through Deontay Wilder if he beat him. But if he is to beat Anthony Joshua, he says, as he expects to do, he expects to get the credit of being the best of this era. He also goes on to state that Deontay Wilder essentially hurt his feelings with all of the allegations. He says that if it was him, if everything was role reversed, then he himself would have just given Deontay Wilder the just due, the credit for beating him. He stated, but at the same time, Deontay Wilder's allegations that he, had unfair advantages was unjust, and that it watered down his victory over Deontay Wilder. He says, because I stood in the ring with the hardest puncher in the history of the sport of boxing, I stood toe to toe and I stopped him. And it watered down my victory. He said I wouldn't have done so if the roles were reversed. Well, I have to beg to differ on that notion, because Tyson Fury, after the first fight, he blamed the judges. He blamed the fact that the fight was in the U.S., that he didn't get the nod over Deontay Wilder. So he didn't just walk away with a draw and say it is what it is. He stated that the judges didn't give him a fair shake, and that the reason he didn't get a fair shake because he was on U.S. soil. So he wasn't just happy with the way things played out. With that said, he says that he's 1,000,000% confident that they'll get a deal done by Tuesday, and they'll get an announcement this week. I expect Tyson Fury and his style. He says he's 6'9" right now. Obviously, that's his height, but he's still weighing about 275 pounds. And he says that he's going to beat Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's, physique is very, very, muscle toned, to say the least. He says, but that don't win fights. He says it looks good, and I would do all my interviews with no shirt on if I look like Anthony Joshua, but that don't mean you win fights. And I agree. I fully expect, if this fight is to come to fruition, Tyson Fury to get the nod and beat Anthony Joshua. He stated also that Anthony Joshua, he hasn't fought anybody. He says the version of Vladimir Klitschko that Anthony Joshua fought, like I always state, was coming off of a loss to Tyson Fury. Not just that, he was on the wrong side of 40, and he was coming off a 2-year layoff since losing to Tyson Fury. But with that said, he says if he didn't vacate his belts, that being Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua would have never been a world champion. He states because Anthony Joshua would never have fought Charles Martin because the IBF belt would have never been vacant. He said the IBF, they immediately removed me of the champion 20 days after winning the fight. He said immediately, 10 days after winning the fight or something of that magnitude, they immediately removed me and I was stripped of the title. Then I, went on my own hiatus, had my own issues, and the belts were all vacant. So with that said, he says that Anthony Joshua, he hasn't fought anybody. And he don't know if he improved since losing to Andy Ruiz Jr. June 1st of 2019. He says because, for one, he did make improvements in a rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr., but due to the fact that Andy Ruiz Jr. didn't take it serious, wasn't focused, didn't commit to it, we never know because Andy Ruiz himself did himself a disservice, and Anthony Joshua, he utilized the ring. He showed us a different facet that he could be mobile, as Tyson Fury stated. He showed us that he could be mobile. Maybe that's a new added wrinkle, but for the most part, we really don't know. So he says that he fully expects to beat Anthony Joshua, as do I. I believe that Anthony Joshua can be very robotic. I believe that Anthony Joshua can be very predictable. I believe Anthony Joshua has stamina issues, all in which Tyson Fury does not. Tyson Fury is very fluid. Tyson Fury is unpredictable. And Tyson Fury never has stamina issues. So with that said, I believe that the fact that Tyson Fury is also 6'9", Anthony Joshua is shorter than Deontay Wilder at 6'6", and Tyson Fury having extremely long arms, and Tyson Fury being very, very awkward in his approach, I expect Tyson Fury to be victorious against Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua, he's still a very, very good heavyweight, as Tyson Fury stated. He stated that, Anthony Joshua is definitely top 3 fighters in the world in the heavyweight division. So that is right. And so he states that, Anthony Joshua, if he beats Anthony Joshua, he would indeed be the best of this era because he would have beaten the best heavyweights, world champions of his era, Vladimir Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, and then Anthony Joshua. So he states that, he definitely, would consider himself the best of this era, should he beat Anthony Joshua, right? And so I expect Tyson Fury's mobility. I expect Tyson Fury's length, Tyson Fury's high ring IQ, and the fact that he doesn't have the same shortcomings Anthony Joshua does. Tyson Fury, 30 wins, 1 draw, 21 wins by way of knockout, by way of stoppage. He's 32 years of age, 6'9" with an 85-inch arm reach, okay? Deontay Wilder, was 6'7" with an 83-inch arm reach. So Tyson Fury has extremely long arms, even longer arms than Deontay Wilder, who's considered to have extremely long arms. But Tyson Fury, obviously, standing at 6'9", he's expected to have extremely long arms. He has an uncanny ability to frustrate his opponents with his style. Anthony Joshua, 24 wins, 1 loss, 22 wins by way of knockout. He himself was knocked out. He stands at 6'6" with an 82-inch arm reach at 31 years of age. So Anthony Joshua, he has he's a 3-inch arm disadvantage and a 3 height disadvantage to Tyson Fury. He's not as athletic or as loose and unpredictable as Deontay Wilder. He can be very, very predictable. And I believe that that's going to work against Anthony Joshua. He has power. He's very technical, but it's very predictable. Okay. And he has a total of 25 fights in his career. Okay. Deontay Wilder has over 40 fights. Tyson Fury has over 30 fights. So he only has 25 fights in his career, and he was stopped by Andy Ruiz Jr. Okay. Deontay Wilder's loss came at the hands of Tyson Fury, who was considered the best before he even went on this hiatus after he defeated Vladimir Klitschko. So it's interesting that he stated that, he would indeed expect that the fact that he's paying these high profile lawyers millions upon millions of dollars to make the Deontay Wilder situation go away. I'm expecting Tyson Fury to beat Anthony Joshua. It's interesting to see what Deontay Wilder's next move is going to be. And it's interesting to see the announcement of this fight and how this all plays out. But I'm expecting Tyson Fury to be victorious against Anthony Joshua as well. But make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Bumgarner, you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.